today. We really appreciate you taking the time to share a little bit about yourself. I know that you mentioned you've been a vegetarian and you made the decision to raise your son Miles as a vegetarian. How did you decide that?
Well, just to clarify a little bit, I call myself a try-hard vegan.
Okay.
And I've lived this way for 22 years. But I do occasionally eat fish, and I do occasionally eat eggs and a little bit of cheese. Okay. But I only eat the eggs if I know where they come from, like the farm next door, Sebascott Home Farm, that have free-range eggs. My son, my husband really wanted him to eat meat because my husband eats meat. And I was like, no way, Jose, over my dead body is that ever going to happen? Just because I love animals so much, and I just don't think it's right. And we really, in this day and age, maybe when we were cavemen, sure, but not anymore. It's not necessary. So we compromised at, my husband said, well, he can eat meat. My husband said he can eat fish. Okay. Could that be the compromise? So Miles actually eats fish too, on occasion when he's with his father, not so much when he's with me. And he also has a gluten allergy.
Right.
He can't eat gluten, and he can't eat cow protein either, and that's because he developed eczema at a young age. An interesting story there, going back to your toothpaste experience, that I took him to the pediatrician. We have two kinds of pediatricians. We have a Western medicine pediatrician in Williamsburg, and up here in Rhinebeck, upstate New York, we have a holistic-minded pediatrician. So I took Miles, when he broke out in this rash, to our traditional pediatrician in the city, and the lady said to me, the doctor said to me, just rub cortisone cream on him 3 times a day until it goes away. I was like, are you crazy? I mean, cortisone cream is a pretty serious thing to be putting on your body as an adult, let alone a little child. So I did not take that for an answer, and I took Miles to our holistic pediatrician up here in Rhinebeck, and she said, quite simply, cut out all his dairy and cut out his gluten, and it will be gone in a few days.
And did it work?
3 days later, his skin was as clear as a bell.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you are what you eat.
Absolutely. And there are, you mentioned the gluten allergy. It seems like that's on the rise. More and more we hear about moms having kids with gluten allergies. And I know with your background and love of cooking, you've been able to come up with a lot of healthy snacks as alternatives to, the cookies, the breads, the cereals that kids typically have. What are some things they've found have been a favorite of Miles?
Well, first of all, Miles isn't a traditional breakfast eater. He's never had cereal in his life for breakfast, which a lot of people do, the cereal with the milk. What we found, we make a lot of stuff for him, like gluten-free muffins, for example. We'll do breakfast muffins for him. But with that said, on the market now, there's a lot of gluten-free options. So for his pasta, we use quinoa pasta, or we use rice pasta. Very easy to find. We always try to buy organic. Plenty of gluten-free breads available on the market now. And then cookies, they're really all readily available. You just kind of have to know where to look.
That's great.
But gluten in itself is a very weird thing. Like, I asked my holistic pediatrician about it, and he told me that the gluten is literally nothing like it was 50 years ago now. So it's a whole new entity. It's very different to when we were younger and we ate bread.
Meaning it's more processed, or?
Yeah, 100% more processed, but also the GMO, genetically modified organisms. It's very scary what they do to food these days to make everything bigger and plumper and more colourful and more attractive to the human to go in and buy. But, GMOs are a pretty scary thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.